Chando village is a remote place in Mayuge district, but it has become a famous tourist site, drawing its popularity from the murder of Bishop James Hannington. The site is owned by the Church of Uganda. Off the road to Bukaleba on the right-hand side is the Kyando Health Centre II. There is an arch and the road slopes downwards to the site of Murder Stone, where Bishop Hannington was murdered by Chief Luba, before ascending to the hill where Bishop Hannington resided. From a distance, Chando Hill is visible from all angles. It is a site Busoga Tourism Initiative has developed to attract tourists.
Bishop Hannington was murdered on the 29th of October in 1885, actually a year before the matters of Namugongo. So he's the first African martyr. He was murdered together with 48 of his helpers. Tourism in Uganda is being diversified, also moving into cultural tourism, religious tourism, faith tourism, and this is one of the flagship of faith tourism in Uganda.
At this site, Bishop Hannington was killed on the directives of Busoga Chief Luba on 29th of October 1885. This was at the peak of the religious controversies in Buganda. The murder was a result of entering Buganda through the backyard, of which Busoga was taken as a backyard to Buganda, from which trouble was expected.
I'm Geoffrey Mukajanga, the grandson of Chief Luba. Actually, I was told by my parents that during that time, it was 1885, during the Kabaka Mwanga, by then was the Kabaka of Buganda. And during that time, my grandfather was the chief of this area, the chief of Bunya. So during that time, Kabaka Mwanga had a suspicion that a person who could take over his kingship will come from Eastern. By then that Bishop James Hannington took the same direction. He didn't know that he had entered the palace of Chief Luba.
There are tourism attractions under Busoga Tourism Initiatives which can make Busoga region an area to reckon with.
At Chando, you'll find historical landmarks. For example, you'll be able to walk the trail of Hannington. You'll be able to go and visit the bedroom of Hannington. Actually, this is a cave where Hannington used to live 128 years. You'll be able to see the pulpit that he used as his preaching pulpit, which are just stones. You'll be able to see his library. You'll also be able to see Chief Luba's well, which is a landmark and is a blessed well, because this is where Bishop Hannington used to draw his water.
Bishop ole yafiirawo Hannington nga baidde okumwedukira. Etawe ebyamaguzi twafuna ssente, etawe engoye batundawo emigaati kyoyendayo kasita oba ofune capital oleetawa.
On arrival in Busoga region at Chando, in the present Mayuge district, Bishop Hannington had discovered a conducive environment at this hill. At the site, we meet Paul Kagwa, the guide.
As he reached Bukoli, that is Namakoko, after having found that they had raided them, so he decided to move as far as this end, whereby he was looking for a way, reaching him to Buganda at the King's palace. So he reached a place called Chugwisa down there at Bukaleba. He had no way through because it was surrounded with the water. So he looked behind and saw this hill of Chando. He came back here.
Chando Hill was in Luba's chiefdom in Buna, the present-day Mayuge district. Luba chiefdom was one of the 11 principalities of Busoga kingdom. There was a huge rock on which Bishop Hannington found a place to rest. Within, he had established a bedroom. A bit further was his sitting room, a pulpit where he preached, and a library where he used to study. Chando has been gazetted a tourist site. It has symbolic places in the vicinity of each other. These were used in the process of trying, sentencing, and murdering Bishop Hannington. The torture's stone, Luba's court, the murder stone, Luba's pot, the source of Bishop Hannington's death. The well was Chief Luba's preserve. It was where a servant had seen Bishop Hannington drawing water before reporting him to Chief Luba.
Luba's well, whereby his cattle used to take water from, plus so many people. He used to sit under that tree there to judge the cases that had come in his court.
One day, there was a well. It was called Chief Luba's pot, where he was drinking water from. He went to drink water. A herdsman saw him drinking water. He saw him as an abnormal thing. He took the information back to Chief Luba, telling him that he saw an abnormal animal drinking water from Chief Luba's pot. Now, Chief Luba ordered his men to come and see which animal was living in his palace.
Bishop Hannington was later captured and taken to Chief Luba's court. During the trial, Bishop Hannington was forced to climb the torture stone. The torture stone was steep and slippery, which Bishop Hannington tried to climb 3 times but failed.
This torture stone here is in Luba's swamp, in Luba's area, whereby Bishop Hannington was brought to this stone when it was said that he has a king who was higher than the king of this area. So they brought him here that if he climbs this stone here, he will be set free. More so they wanted him to climb up here, but he failed to climb. That's why we call it a torture stone. This stone is ever surrounded with water, and I don't think whether you can climb it after having stepped in the water. He failed because it was slippery, had stepped in the water. He could not climb this stone. So from here, he was taken to the murder stone and he was killed.
But a relative to Chief Luba says it was unfortunate that a disparity in language caused the death of Bishop James Hannington.
He said in Uganda that mugende mumute, which is a contradicting statement. Either he meant to release him or to kill him. So now when the messengers came back, they brought the information to Chief Luba, told him the Kabaka had said to mute. So Chief Luba ordered his death.
Aviona Francisco, UBC News.